And I see the counter. When I see the counter, we're live. It still says I'm scheduled. What am I doing wrong? All right, I'm going to go live. I get that button. Got it. I'm live. All right. Hey, welcome to the off night. It's Monday night. It's the night that all the comics can't get gigs. Or, well, actually, it's every night now during the pandemic, but we still made it Monday night because that's the way we started it. And I'm Mark Sweetman. I started this back on April 1st, about April 12th, I think it was. We got a 1-year anniversary coming up. We'll celebrate that. And around August, my sidekick and announcer, Andy Jensen, joined us. And here's Andy right here. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Andy, I'm doing all right. Andy does live on-the-spot reporting for us. He sometimes goes out and finds guests for us. Sometimes he's our announcer. We had a 15-minute pre-show here where we're getting down and dirty. So I just want to make sure that we did a clean break of that.
Do you want to make an announcement now?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, hey, live from the beautiful, beautiful Snow Fest of Detroit. Please welcome for your off night and exceptional, wonderful people who are going to be here. But let's let Mark tell you about it, because Mark is your host and MC. Please welcome Mark Sweetman.
All right,
okay.
Here we go. And now I got my. No, wait a minute. Now I got to turn my theme music on here too. So let's get the theme music on.
I forgot the theme music.
That's okay. You did just fine. All right, here we go.
Intel collection. The chandelier.
Oh, it's a commercial.
$24.99.
Shoot.
Or
right.
choose an industrial.
Well,
let's try it again.
That could be considered a theme.
Oh no! All of a sudden, no. Herb Alpert came up. I screwed this whole thing up.
Herb Alpert.
Well, Herb Alpert would be great, but the music I had, I don't have to pay royalties on. Herb Alpert, he'll come after. He's A&M Records. He's A&M Records. Anyway, and then around about the same time Andy joined us, Sam joined us as a guest, and we liked him so much we've had him on every week since. And so now we have from Lower Manhattan our good friend Sam Greenfield. Oh, by way of Washington D.C., our good friend Sam Greenfield, veteran of the Comedy Wars. And now just a curmudgeon. He's
curmudgeon.
Now just a malcontent.
Now once he added humor to his malcontent. Now he's just a curmudgeon.
He's just a curmudgeon.
And then,
that's all.
And then long about the beginning of this year, we were trying to diversify because look at this group, look at this trio right here, old white guys, right? So we could have, we could have found a young black tranny, something that would have covered who was like an entrepreneur or something, a Republican young black tranny or something like that, of which they would deny, but we know they're out there. And we could have done that and covered a lot of diversity with that, but nope. We decided to go funny, and we went with Kathy Ryan, and now she comes to us every week from Florida. Kathy, good to have you back with us.
Nice to be back. Florida. 83 degrees here, guys.
Are my cues off here?
83.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Right.
Yeah.
No one likes you, Kathy.
80. Did you say 8? Did you say 86?
83.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a cold front.
It got up to
tonight.
11 here.
What's the cold front?
There wasn't.
I don't want to hear
the cold front is it'll be down to 68 tonight. I know.
You got to bring out the warm sweat, the warm clothing.
Yeah, we may have to shut the windows. Who knows?
The hat.
Yeah. It was tough sitting on the beach today. I'll tell you. Hey,
I have some news on the. There you go. Now you just stay down there for the winter, though, right? You'll be back in the summer.
Yeah, be back.
I want to work out. I want to get a gig like that.
Not bad.
I have some news. On the. I guess it's the Michigan, the Sweetman family, and the COVID front. My wife got her first shot today of the COVID vaccine. So, Sam, you're getting yours tomorrow, right?
Getting mine tomorrow.
All right.
I got mine.
Next up. Now, I don't get mine, even though I'm older than my wife. I don't get mine because I don't work for the county. She works for the county, and so that's considered more important than making people laugh. We know that's
But aren't
wrong,
you-
but
Wait a minute, but aren't you over 75? Fundraising. You know, like a day over 80.
I gotta start eating better. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, my doctor just recently put me on, can't find it now. Januvia, does that sound right? Whatever anyways, it's a new medication for my high blood sugar, diabetes. And she says, now this will lower your glucose level, but it does this through urine, so you'll be urinating a lot. I go, well, I'm already urinating a lot, so just I've already got a seat reserved. I've already got my own toilet in my house, so bring it on.
Aren't you considered a at-risk person?
Yeah,
Can't you get your shot because you're at risk?
That's what I thought, but I don't know. Do I have to go asking them, or do they come with? See, this is what we need national health care for. Everybody should be plotted down there. They should have had a list. You should have been. It should have been like a draft number. I should have been like
exactly.
an F. I should have been an F4 or whatever it was that they did during the draft. So I knew when I was getting my shot. 4F, that was it. So I knew when I was getting my shot. That's what national health care is for. Everybody's talking about, they're not going to be able to get their tit jobs or something. But I'm more worried about. I just think that everybody's and everybody's worried about privacy. They're going to know what you have, and everybody's thinking it's going to be like the insurance company are now, where they're just going to not pay shit if they don't want to. Well, of course they're not going to, because they're profit motivated, and they got to make money, so they got to reduce their costs by buying claims. Where if it's all single payer health care, they have reasons to keep the people healthy and not let them get to the point where they need suddenly need $300,000 worth of health insurance.
Yeah.
So, and that fits right into our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame theme that we're working on tonight, bitching about healthcare. But
can I
that was just something.
The fact that you didn't know what that you said F4 shows that I think I'm right about this. I'm the only person in this quartet who was in any way affected by the Vietnam War.
Well, I wasn't, but I marched against it when I was in college.
No. I'm talking about you couldn't get. No, I'm talking about getting drafted.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I am signed up for the
you had to worry about. We had selective service sign up 45 years ago, and they haven't used it. They haven't used it since. You guys had to go to the draft board. You think you had it tough, but I had to stand up to my dad to vacation at Vietnam.
Wow. And by the way,
I know
I'm in awe of you, because I understand what you're saying. By the way, there was an Everybody Loves Raymond, where her, what's her name? Patricia Heaton, her parents, one of whom was played by Robert Culp.
Yes.
Right. They're like, older people, but they're hip. They're with the times.
Yeah.
As opposed to Ray's parents. Right.
Yeah.
And so Robert Culp says to Peter Boyle, he goes, guess where we're going on vacation?
I love that show.
And he goes, Vietnam. And Peter Boyle goes, Vietnam? What, are you going to give Charlie some payback? That's my favorite line in the history of that show. My second favorite line was that Raymond goes on some talk show, and he says to his father, how do you think I did? And he goes, it was all right. It was okay. And he goes, no, be honest with me. He said, Raymond, it was fine. And he goes, you're not being honest. He says, you want to be honest? I could have had a bowl of alphabet soup and crapped a better interview. That is the great lines I've ever heard.
Oh, that is great. That is a great show. And the showrunner for that show, whose name escapes me right now,
Phil Rosenthal.
Bill Rosenthal. I have heard such great stories about how that guy ran the writing room on that show. Oh no, we lost Sam. Oh no, we lost Sam. I'm gonna get Sam back for this one because Sam's gonna know some of these people probably.
Oh yeah.
Sam, come back. Shoot. All right. So anyway, Kathy, you got your shots yet? Oh, here he is.
Sorry.
I'm here.
Sam is back.
There's Sam.
There's Sam.
My wife went to school with him. My wife knows Phil.
Phil Rosenthal. You know, it was
Yeah.
Now the story I heard was every Monday morning, everybody got into work, and all he wanted to know was what happened this weekend, like at your house, you know.
That's right.
The example that was given in this interview he took was I can't remember which writer he named, but the one about Ray wouldn't take the suitcase upstairs. And that was just something that happened in one of the writers. And they would take all these writers' stories from their lives, from being in families and, you know, all these different things. And then they would build a whole show around them.
He was
that's the
very
essence
good
of
to his
comedy.
friends. Ray was very good to his friends. But a lot of his friends, you know, wound up being Mike Royce, who's now a producer, you know, producing his own shows. Tom Cottabiano. A lot of people got their start from that show.
Yeah, that was a great show.
You know what happened on the whatchamahoozy, the Seinfeld show? For the first year of the show or 2 years, it was Larry David's buddies who wrote on the show. And then Jerry said to him, "Okay, now it's going to be my friends." And that whole crew just got wiped away. But see, the thing is, once you've written for a hit show, you have no excuse if you can't land something else.
Yeah.
I mean, you're set now.
Sure.
You really are.
Yeah. Well, except for the age problem out there.
Well, can't have everything.
Yeah.
Are they too old or too young?
Well, that's everybody. You look at everything they try out is never from an old guy, except somebody who's already got a hit show. My friend, Mark Brazil, who created that '70s show. He can't really go in unless he's got everything going for him. You know, and he can't pitch an idea unless he's got somebody attached to it.
Yeah, the writers now are under 30.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's frustrating because old people are so funny, and we're not. And I don't mean that in a that it's like we're always making fun of them. I can sit with groups of my peers and we tell stories that are hysterically funny about what happens to us on a daily basis, and we're not mocking them. It's just there's some funny stuff out there.
I said, the people who run these shows and only use kids, evidently they think that we're going to come up with a plot line that like Sam loses his colostomy bag. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Well, now, does anybody watch the Kaminsky Method?
Or his grandson
Kaminsky
hides
Method.
it to
What
get
about
by.
that one? That's a good show.
That's I think that's a great age that's finally making fun of men. It's always women, or like the Golden Girls or whatever.
Is that the one?
The humor was starting. Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin plays the old man. I love the daughter
the
on that one.
Kaminsky Method.
Yes. Hysterically funny. Oh my God.
The daughter addict is great.
By the way,
the prostate jokes are wonderful.
Is wonderful.
Yes, it is. It kind of picked up where Grace and Frankie, which I thought was really funny for the first couple seasons, and kind of tailed off.
I'll tell you what I love about Kaminsky Method, just because for the time I lived in LA, is when they go out to eat, it's at Musso and Frank's.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You know, one of my favorite lines in the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is in the beginning of the movie when Al Pacino's character, Mr. Schwartz, tells the Leonardo DiCaprio character, you know, you don't have a show now, so you're always going to play the heavy. And this week, this guy's going to beat the shit out of you. And next week, this guy's going to beat the crap out of you. And eventually, it's going to kill your career. So when they leave, you know, him and Brad Pitt leave the restaurant, he's in tears. He's crying. And it's such a great line when Brad Pitt says to him, "Stop it now, stop it." You know, because all the parking lot attendants are Latino. And he goes, "Stop it now. Don't cry in front of the Mexicans."
I love Tarantino. I love Tarantino films.
He says that's his last one.
Wow.
But
Really?
I heard he's doing a Star Wars
What?
or Star Trek. He's doing a Star
yeah.
Trek.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Is that still happening? Because I've heard it was like
Absolutely,
back and
yes.
forth.
Yes, it's happening, and they hired Chris Pine to be in it. So yes, it's happening.
Wow. Wow. How
Wow.
about that?
I wonder how
All right,
that's
you
going
guys-
to come out.
All right. So do you guys want to go over? Do you want to go over this year's nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I would love
Sure.
to.
All right.
I won't know any of them.
Let me,
By the way,
I wouldn't
let me-
know anyways.
one of the qualifications for being nominated is it has to have been 25.
What's happening to him?
Now we'll never know.
I don't know.
Never
Hold
know.
on.
Oh, there you are.
I'm sorry, it has to be 25 years since your first recording.
Okay.
I see.
Okay. So we're talking about 96 now.
That's correct.
All right.
Actually,
so
95.
first of all,
Actually, 95.
95. All right. Let's first of all, the only name I don't recognize on the list is Fela Kuti. Anybody?
He's an African
help me out with that
like rhythmist, and should not be on that list.
He's an African what? What was the
You know,
Rhythm kind of, you know.
rhythm? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's rock.
He shouldn't be on that list. You know,
all right, here's the list.
It shouldn't. It's like, you know, it's like Tim Raines being in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
All right, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna go. Yeah. Don't get me started. All right, I'm gonna go through the list. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear boos or yays or anything. Don't reject them just yet. Let's get through the list. Get it out there, and then we'll go through again. All right, here we go. Mary J. Blige, Kate Bush, Devo, Foo Fighters, The Go-Go's, Iron Maiden, Jay-Z, Chaka Khan.
All of
No, she
them?
wasn't nominated that many times. I just can't say Chaka Khan without repeating it. Carole King, Fela Kuti, LL Cool J, the New York Dolls, Rage Against the Machine, Todd Rundgren, Tina Turner, and Dionne Warwick. All right, now, why don't we just do this? We each take our first little thought about this. I'm going to lead, and then you follow my lead. I'm just going to give, to me, the only two that really belong on the list for nominees for rock and roll are Todd Rundgren and Tina Turner. All right. Carole King, yes, she belongs on some list, but when I think of rock and roll, I don't think of Carole King. You know,
No,
I think of,
yeah.
when I think of, because I think of rock and roll as being sort of a anti-establishment, you know, even Rage Against the Machine, even though they're nominated, I don't know if I want them on the first ballot, someday. But there's other bands I'd like to see in there before those. But I think Rundgren and Tina Turner belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't think you're
I think
casting
Foo
a wide
Fighters will
enough
get
net.
there.
I think that Carole King has to be included because she wrote for the Shirelles, and she wrote for all. You know, it's not rock and roll. It's not like Chuck Berry rock and roll four chords. It's
Okay.
not. In
All
other
right.
words, soul music is not rock and roll, but it has to be included. So I understand what you're saying. I do, but it actually should not be. It used to be that Playboy had this thing, the Jazz Hall of Fame, and they started including people that weren't jazz. So they changed it to Jazz and Rock Hall of Fame. So people like Springsteen, could be included. And so I understand what you're saying, but people like Dionne Warwick and they should be in, because their music is in that era,
Yeah,
and it
I see. I don't.
encompasses that era.
That's great, but I don't think we should call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, though. Maybe
I agree.
you know,
The
the
it should be
recording
the
art, the
Pop Music
recording
Hall
artist
of
Hall of
Fame.
Fame.
It should be the
Exactly.
Pop and Rock Hall of Fame.
Right. I'm all right with that too. I mean, rock and roll. I mean, yeah. There's some rap artists that I think you can call rock and roll, but first of all, there's two people that are not in it that I think should be in it. That I don't like any nomination unless these two are in. And these two have been nominated before, but they never get enough votes to get in. One is the MC5, and the reason they always get mentioned, why they've been nominated 5 times, but they've never gotten in. And the reason they say they don't get in is because, well, they weren't that well known. I mean, they're a Detroit band, and they're very influential to the bands. They're influential to the Stooges and Alice Cooper and all these bands that came out of Detroit that they influenced, but nobody knew who they were because they didn't have that many big hits. And to that I say, all right, if you're going to use that argument, why isn't Tommy James in the Hall of Fame? Because Tommy James from Niles, Michigan, had a ton of hits. I mean, you can't listen to the radio station.
I'm okay with him being in that list. I'm okay with him being in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I mean. Those are the two bands.
It was Hanky Panky, which he should have been burned alive.
Yeah, but you know what? He's got about 12 top 10 hits. You know what I mean?
Oh no, absolutely. Crimson and Clover.
60s,
oh, come on.
Yeah. And different forms too, not just the same, drum beat all the time,
Here's an interesting bit of trivia. When he did Hanky Panky, he did something on that song that Frankie Avalon did on Dee Dee Dinah. Do you know what it is?
What?
Hold his nose while he sang.
Oh, isn't that something?
My baby does the hanky panky. That's how he did it.
Wow.
And that's how Frankie Avalon, ironically, after Frankie Avalon made that song, his other songs, other people held their nose. Good night, everybody.
I got Tommy James' autobiography around here somewhere. I just haven't read it yet, but I got it sitting around here somewhere.
Okay,
but
so
those two bands.
Let's go down the list.
Because those aren't in, I just get upset that anybody gets. All right, let's go. Mary J. Blige.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great art.
Yep.
Well, let me before we get too far, how many will actually be? Is there a set number that they have?
No, there's not. No.
Okay. Just whoever.
No.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Kate Bush. Couldn't name you a Kate Bush hit.
Couldn't name you if you had a gun on me.
Wasn't her father president or something?
No, that's Jenna.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I was joking.
No.
Jenna.
No.
I know. Is she more folky?
Bush.
Yeah. You know what? Let me take a look here. Let me Google Kate Bush and see what. See here.
I don't think you'll be the first man to have done that.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, do I really want to? Yeah. Do I really want to Google Kate Bush? No, she doesn't even look familiar. Years active, 1975 to present. I don't even know who this woman is.
Who's that?
English.
Yeah.
She's old, I'll tell you that.
She's English. She's English.
Oh.
She topped in 1978 at 19. She topped the UK singles chart for 4 weeks with her debut single, Wuthering Heights.
Hit the bricks, Limey.
Yeah. This is the American Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Move on.
Oh, yeah, take a hike, Clive.
Yeah.
Devo. I think Devo just gets in for the
who?
I think
Devo. Yeah, I think Devo
The
should get
only
in.
reason I wouldn't cast a vote for Devo is because, and correct me if I'm wrong, their body of work is too small.
Yeah, what is it, like 2 albums? I think
Well,
I think
Two,
I think they
two
only did
hits,
the
right?
second
Whip
album.
It and Satisfaction.
Mm.
Yep. And I think they only did the second album because the first one was a hit, you know.
That's right. Yeah, the body of work is too small.
Yeah.
I think they get in just on their
On the
effect.
look?
Well,
Were
on
they
the
the
look
ones
and
that
on
wore
the,
the hood?
They
Yes,
were
the
so
flower
unique.
pot
I mean,
heads.
they were such a
they
unique
were-
sound.
yeah, it was a
Was there
unique
talent there?
song.
I'll
I
tell
don't
you
know.
this.
It was a unique
Their stuff
sound. It
has
was a
stood the
unique.
test of time. People are still listening to that. They're still using that on soundtracks. They used Whip It
Sure
on
do.
Casino.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
they
yes,
sure do.
the songs are still being used. People are still listening to those albums.
Yeah.
Hey, they get in before Kate Bush.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get
If I
in
had to
before
pick.
Kate Butch.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Foo Fighters. Do we get Foo Fighters in? I say
am
yes.
way too old to cast judgment on them, but I am told by my daughter, yes.
All right,
They
here's
should
what you
be,
need to
yeah.
know, Sam. Here's what you need to know about Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, their lead songwriter,
Yeah.
lead singer, lead guitar. He used to play the drums for Nirvana, and
Brilliantly.
he's got somebody else playing the drums for her now that he's standing out front of the
Right.
band. But he is a rock historian, and he makes sure that his audiences aren't assholes. And I think, to me, that's worth getting in the Hall of Fame for. I mean,
How does he do that?
he educates them. You know, he brings out artists that maybe his fans don't want to see, and then he'll explain why they're playing with Foo Fighters. And I just think that's just so classy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. So, you know, it's like he'll bring out shit. I don't know. I'm so bad.
I do that.
But
Tina Turner. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, he'd bring out Tina Turner and explain why he brought her out to sing this song. And it would be like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. And you know what I mean? He's got some story about it. And he doesn't pal up to other rock stars to suck up to them. He pals up to them because he wants to be a part of their gift, a part of their essence, a part of
He
their...
respects the art.
He respects the art, exactly. And I think that alone, for that one member of that band, and because the Foo Fighters are so much Dave Grohl, I got to give it to him.
And frankly, Tina Turner deserves it because of Thunderdome. That's what I'm saying. You know, that movie would not have been anything without Tina Turner.
She survived Ike.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Tina Turner
Oh,
does it
she's
because...
definitely, yeah.
Oh shit! She's already a part of the Hall of Fame as part of Ike and Tina Turner. Said she's going in on her own
when
now.
He died, they asked her for a comment, and her spokesman says she has nothing to say about him. She didn't know anything about that he had died, and she will not comment on it now or ever. And that's the best thing she could have done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That son of a bitch beat me half to death. I hope he died a horrible, painful, miserable death. You know, screw him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Next on our list, the Go-Go's.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
They are the only all-girl band to write, sing, and produce a #1 hit.
Yeah.
What was their hit?
Oh, they had more than one, but we got the beat.
Well, just the fact that they went over to England and took the spit from those stages.
Oh my God, guys! Yeah, this was during like the punk rock thing. Guys are yelling, "Show us your tits!" Throwing shit at them, and they survived that.
Yeah.
And also Stuart Copeland of the Police, the drummer, he was stunned that they weren't already in the hall. He was furious, and I trust his judgment.
Okay.
Yeah, I put that.
All right, I do too.
And Belinda Carlisle. I mean, you know, she.
You know where she lives now with her husband? Bangkok.
I don't know, Los Angeles.
Wow.
Where?
Bangkok,
Thailand.
Yeah, her husband is James Mason's son.
Really?
James Mason.
There we go. Get a chance
I
for
finally
Candy
get
to
to do
get
a
an
James
impression.
Mason impression. I
All
don't
right, do
know.
your James Mason.
Hello, I'm James
Don't play with the dirty,
Mason.
nasty boys. Don't.
Once I leave this room, the office withdraw. Little verdict gnawing there
Next,
for you.
yeah. Next on our list, Iron Maiden.
I guess.
Uh,
I gotta Google them to see what songs I would know from them.
I was gonna say my kids should be here. This is all beyond
Let me
me.
help you with
I
Iron
really think
Maiden,
it should be a
okay?
separation
All
between.
right,
Music
again.
today, Death by.
Again,
It's hard for me to
a
think of
heavy
those
metal
guys as
band.
rock and roll.
Again, it's a heavy metal band formed by bassist and songwriter Steve Harris in Leighton, East London. Oh, come on. another British band, for crying out loud.
Not a British, yeah. No. See, American Hall of Fame.
I just really don't think heavy metal is really rock and roll. You know?
Don't let the door hit you, Nigel.
Yeah.
All right.
In your
All
bloomers.
right, be careful.
Yeah.
All right, we got the Beatles and we got the Stones and we got Eric Clapton. Let's take it easy on the British here. You know, we don't want to kick them out.
If I haven't heard, if I don't know any of your songs, you're
Yeah.
gone.
Yep.
I can't find. Wait a minute. Let me see their discology here. Let me see what I got.
That's the whole
here.
problem with heavy metal. You can never recognize the songs. They all sound the same.
Yeah.
There's only one group that's not true of to me, Metallica.
Okay, I'll go with that.
That's true. We
But
have
beyond
some
them,
names.
no. Beyond them, I'm on the same page, Andy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
And by the way, I don't like leaving a concert that when you're 3 feet from me and you say something, I go, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
You know who did that?
Oh, they didn't have
What was the
formed
name
in
of it? Oh,
77.
Norma Coconut was in this group. Oh, God. I'll never remember it. The hell with it. But that was the loudest
What
concert I've ever been to. It was painful. I can't remember the group now.
All right, here we go. Here's
Let's
1982, The Number of the Beast. 1983, Peace of Mind. 1984, Power Slave.
Gee,
I
what
guess these are their
romantic
albums.
titles.
These are albums. I
They
know,
played that at a wedding
trying
I
to see
was
if they
at
had
recently.
Kathy, want to dance?
Yeah.
No.
the,
And
oh,
for
get
wedding
this,
music,
get this.
Pull my hair.
Wait a minute.
Dance.
These guys, these guys need to be in the Hall of Fame just for this. Just for this. They have 40 albums, including 13 live albums. 40 albums. They were
What
put
was
together.
the name of that group?
1985.
God damn it.
Well,
Jack
because
Cassidy was in
just because you record an album in your garage, does that count as live?
Wow,
Yeah, wait a minute.
that's
Wait
a
a
great
people?
question.
minute. Hold on. This gets even better. Their lead vocalist, well, not for the whole run, but at the beginning and now again, currently, their lead vocalist is Bruce Dickinson. You know who Bruce Dickinson is, don't you?
No.
Why no, I don't.
That's the name of that's the fictitious name of the producer on More Cowbell on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's funny.
Bruce Dickinson.
Oh,
I got
gotta be a
half more
connection there.
cowbell. That's what I think. Well, they
There's
obviously
gotta be
somebody
a
knew who Bruce
connection.
Dickinson was.
Yeah.
Ugh. Man, from 1975 until 2021.
Are they still
they're
going?
still doing it. Yes. Considered one of the most influential and successful heavy metal bands in history.
Okay, so we know
They
nothing.
sold over
so
100
they should
million
be
copies of their albums.
who?
If we know nothing about them.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if. Holy shit! I mean, honest to God, look at all the different. They've been with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different labels, and they're not cheatsy labels either. They're not like little shit. They're Columbia, EMI, Capitol, Epic. I mean, they've been with decent you know what I mean? Decent labels, but 9 of them. Wow,
wow.
that's something else. All right,
But, I mean,
Bruce Dickinson.
volume doesn't necessarily equate quality, though. You know.
Well, one thing to watch
Well,
the
hey,
Stones
we're
and the
keeping
Beatles when they're
if we're keeping Devo out, we're not having enough. We got to let Iron Maiden in for having 40
Yeah, but,
albums.
it's one thing to watch the Beatles and the Stones still performing into their 60s and stuff like that. Heavy metal just doesn't, make that leap nearly as well when you've got all these old guys up there with chains and all this other stuff. It just no, it loses something.
I have a son that's into scream metal, and I was never really into metal that much, but he's into scream metal. He plays bass. He's played in a couple of bands. And I said, what's great about that is nobody can ever say you suck, because how would anybody know? It's like,
Yeah.
The group I was looking for was Hot Tuna.
Oh, well, of course. Oh, we all know
Hot
that.
Tuna?
Yeah.
Hot Tuna. Loudest, painfully loudest group I've ever heard. I've
Wow.
never left a concert because it
All right,
was
back
too
to the
loud
list.
until then.
Well, if it's too loud,
Or
you're
Until
too
then.
old.
All right.
So I told my daughter, I said,
right.
that
What's
restaurant
next?
you like to go to, the music is too loud. She goes, "You're old.
That's right. If it's too loud, you're too old.
You're old." But she's
What's
right.
funny is there's a couple.
But she's right.
There's 3 artists that my kids go to see that I said I'll go with you, and they're going, no, you are not going with us to this concert. You are absolutely not going to. And I have 3 that I like their music, and I'd like to go see Post Malone.
Oh yeah.
Meghan Trainor.
Love Meghan
And
Trainor.
the kid that's on everything. Yeah, and the kid that's on everything. I mean, he's hosted shows. He did a Super Bowl. Does the Grammys every year. Can't think of his name now. Shit. Uptown Funk don't do. Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I will go.
Yeah, he's good.
I would like to see his. I would like to see his show.
He
And
did
my
a
kids are
great Super
going,
Bowl.
He's good.
didn't he? I thought it was awesome.
His Super Bowl halftime
All right,
was
let's make
great.
it was good. I think after his show, I thought maybe they should have a permanent halftime show like that. Like they always talk about having a permanent Olympic site. Have one
The only
guy do
problem is
the halftime show every time. All right, back to our list. Jay-Z. Does Jay-Z belong in the Hall of Fame? I'd say he has to be.
yes,
I mean, he's
Yeah,
just so influential as a
Because
producer.
according-
If
I know who.
not for his
He's
performances.
Yeah. Is that me
And he's,
flipping? Who's flipping here? I'm getting
What's-
seasick.
Oh, I'm not doing anything. It looks like Sam froze up though.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are all frozen on my screen, but I
I'm
still
not
hear you.
frozen.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Sam just went out for some reason. Oh, now he's back. He froze
back.
up
I'm
there
back.
and then he disappeared. But is he back? Okay.
I'm not doing
Hey, when you get in,
anything.
Sam, say hi.
The weather.
See, I can see him. He keeps flashing here. I don't get that.
Can you see me now?
Situation.
Flashing.
Oh, you think so?
flashing. Oh. Put your coat on, Sam. Or
You
Andy.
think that's what it is?
Yeah.
Well, you know
And
what?
after-
The little monitor screen that I have of him on my dashboard, which controls the whole thing, I can see him, but he's black on the main screens. So
Damn right,
I don't
bro.
know
He's on my
what's going
screen. Oh,
He's on mine.
Is he really?
Yep.
Now I can see
Oh.
you guys moving again.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
'cause
okay.
I'm
You're
black,
back.
isn't it?
I
Well,
see his lips moving.
Did you see
That must be
the
Sam.
new
His lips
the
are
new up
moving.
and coming the new up and coming artist who's being featured on America's Got Talent this week?
Who's
You mean
that?
see
American
that?
Idol or America's Got Talent?
No, I don't watch. I haven't
Maybe it's
seen
American Idol. Claudia Conway,
Yeah,
Kellyanne Conway's-
Conway's daughter.
nutty daughter, and yeah,
Wow.
she made it into the next round. God,
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Conway, the White
Kellyanne
House.
and George. Yeah.
Kellyanne
Kellyanne
Conway.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trump,
Yeah.
Trump
The one
tour.
who left her parents because they were such
Yes.
bad parents. That one. She
No,
left
no,
her
no, no,
parents?
no. Not him. Kellyanne. Not George Conway. She didn't leave
Sometimes
because
she
of
doesn't
George
have.
George-
Conway.
Yeah, well,
She
sometimes
left
she
because of
doesn't have good
Kellyanne.
things to say about him either. But
Yeah.
Well,
Never
he's,
mind,
he's
I'd
enormously
slap
unattractive.
Excuse me. I've got 3 teenage daughters. They have nothing good to say about anybody.
well,
Everything,
exactly.
everybody,
Yeah, but you're not sucking up to a
everybody.
megalomaniac,
Yeah.
or are you?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Pen 15 yet?
Yeah. Or as Woody Allen say,
15?
yes.
Have you watched Pen 15?
No.
What is that?
No. You know what? I'm going to write that down because you mentioned that a couple of times now. I want to make sure I get to see that.
It's basically about two teenage daughters, but it's done by women in their 30s.
Oh.
But
Is
it's
this-
brilliant.
yeah,
It's pretty
is it-
good. I mean, it's annoying to me at
this
sometimes, but
Netflix
it's sort of
or-
like if you have daughters, you probably will enjoy it. So
Really? Well, I don't know if I want to relive it.
Is it Netflix or Amazon or what?
it's on.
Andy, is it Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or?
I think it's Hulu. Hulu.
All right, I'll check it out.
See, this is the other dilemma. All these good shows come up, but it's never on a streaming service that you have. And it's like, what? So you miss out on half.
Actually,
that
my
stuff.
wife is my wife needs to be a guest on this show because.
Well, I've been
She knows how to
watching
manipulate
the Fran Leibowitz.
Oh
It
God,
was,
how great is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
you know my favorite line since I've been
what-
watching it? Somebody asked Fran Leibowitz, why can't Jews eat bacon? She goes, because it's delicious.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
That line.
You know what?
He's so right.
You know what, Sam? That line's got to go in. That line's got to go in the Jewish humor book too, because that is such Jewish humor. You know what I mean?
Oh, that
Yep,
is
yeah,
so-
perfect. Yeah.
I'll tell you something else she said. I'm not, this is not a shock. She's gay. And she said, I'm a wonderful daughter. I'm a terrific friend. I'm a horrible girlfriend.
Yeah, her whole demeanor and history is like, on one hand I want to hang out with her, on the other hand I don't want to. It's like,
Do you know what she drives in New York? Do you know what her car is? A Checker
what?
Marathon.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
oh wow,
He drives the tank.
Kalamazoo built.
There you go. Yeah. Homegrown.
Man. Those are
She
diesel,
drives
aren't
the
they?
tank.
They're not gasoline. They're
look,
diesel.
we got 18 minutes left. We're not even halfway
All
through
right,
the
how
list.
many
Yet.
more?
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to digress.
That's all
I
right.
got 9. I got 9. All right, ready? Shaka Khan. She's in. Shaka Khan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Shaka Khan.
Carole King, we already discussed. We got to put her
Yes,
in just for all the
absolutely.
shit she wrote. And if we're doing it on sales, she outsells probably everyone on this list, except for the band with 40 albums.
Yeah.
And they just
Unless they sold
could do that.
500 each.
I was going to say, have they sold any?
Exactly.
Did they buy their own albums? That's the key thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like Slim Whitman. He sold more records than Elvis or the Beatles. Yeah, because he worked in a record store.
Yeah. Yes.
Fela Kuti is the rhythmist from Africa. Is not going
No,
to be in
no,
because
no. Back
No.
to
Because-
Lagos,
because
pal.
if he gets in, I'm hopping on my Tommy James bandwagon again. But anyway, LL Cool J, does he get the same credit as Jay-Z?
Not for me. Not for me. Once
I
again,
think
not
of him as
enough
more
of
of
a
an
body of
actor.
work, and he's not a great singer, and
Exactly.
he's not a great rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he stopped doing it after he started doing acting. So I mean, he's
Yeah,
really not.
no,
I don't-
absolutely not.
All right, New York Dolls.
Now, I live in New York, but I'm saying no. The only reason they're on there is because they were part of that they started glam rock.
They started glam rock. Yep, that's
But
it.
as far as the body of work, no.
I'm with you on that.
David Johansen
Rage-
as a single, yes, but no, not them.
Okay.
I'm not sure David Johansen did enough to make the Hall of Fame either. We're talking about. Well, I'm weighing it against people that aren't in yet too.
But
so.
he's more. I agree with you, but he's more eligible to me than they are.
That I'll agree with that. Okay. All right. Let's go on to Rage Against the Machine. Now, they're a scream metal group that I like.
I have a problem. This is personal. I have a problem with people who rage against the man and get to the gig by limo.
And then want to get voted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. They should be rejecting the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
That's right. They should be like George C. Scott, turning down the Oscar.
Exactly.
That's right.
You know,
Exactly.
yeah, Rage Against the Machine. If they get announced and they give up to accept that trophy, they should just snatch it back and go, psych. You know, you're Rage Against the Machine. You're not going to take this.
So,
If you were to
Marlon
take this
Brando-
trophy, we'd have to take it back.
They could be like
We'd have to
Marlon
take it back
Brando
just
with
because
Academy
you're Rage Against
Award.
yeah,
They could
so
send a
Marlon
little
Yeah.
Sri Lankan child that sews Nike, sneakers in the
Sasheen
factory.
Littlefeather.
Yeah, yeah.
So who did George C. Scott send to reject
No
the
one.
Oscar?
No one.
Oh,
No one. He said, I'm not in it. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not sending any. No.
got it.
I wish he had sent me.
What do you do with George C.
He'd
Scott?
never see that. That Oscar would be in Sam's house right now.
There you go.
See, because I was 30 when he won that Oscar. So I'd
Ah.
have it up there. And if I brought a woman back to my apartment, is that yours? Yeah.
Yeah, I use George C. Scott as my acting name.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'll tell you something. If you watch Patton, that is such an unbelievably great performance.
oh, it is. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right from that opening scene of him up, on stage
But-
by
but
himself.
just-
There. Yeah.
I'll tell you what my favorite scene is in that movie. When he gets fired, when you see him leaving Ike's office, he is so dejected. He is so down. His body is physically bent. So, and I agree with you about the opening scene, Kathy. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the total air out of his balloon
Mm.
when he leaves Ike's office because he said we should have used the goddamn Germans to kill them, and then blah, 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 and blame them and blah, blah, all that shit. And it was recorded.
Yeah.
And after that, and he leaves Ike's office and he is just dead.
Yeah.
Dead. It's
Yeah.
just the look on his face. I mean, he didn't have an ounce of energy to do anything at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah. He was a brilliant actor. No two
Carl
ways about
Malden.
that.
The
Who?
Hustler.
Oh yeah, the Hustler. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you owe me.
You owe me money. Yeah.
Owe me money. That was great. Yeah, he was just there was just so many things that he was brilliant at,
Yeah.
Is that it, Mark?
No, there's more.
All
Rage
right.
Against the
Okay.
Machine had out.
I
They
say no.
only did 4 albums. They only
Nah,
did 4
screw
albums
'em.
between 92 and 2000.
Nah,
Nah.
just because they're eligible.
All right.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
They have a catchy
Well, this is the
name.
third time
Yeah.
they've been. This is their third nomination. So they've
No,
strike. This will be
no.
their third strike. They're gonna-
No, go
right,
pick go
Todd
pick at a bottling plant.
Rundgren.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I say yes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's one of
actually
the ones
written
I had
a
on
lot
my
of people too.
Yeah, Todd Rundgren was a producer for a lot of artists.
Yeah.
In addition to
I just
being
want him in for Bang on My
a
Drum.
singer-songwriter. Okay.
You want him for what, Sam?
Tina,
I want him in for Bang on My Drum.
Oh,
Mhm.
I thought that's what you
I've
said.
never loved a song more than that. I love that song.
all right. Tina Turner is in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I gotta look if she's. You know what? I gotta look to see if she's been nominated before. It seems. Oh no, that's right. She was nominated with Ike and Tina. Okay,
With
she's
Ike,
now getting in as. And
Well,
Dionne Warwick.
wait a minute.
And
Did
you're
Ike and Tina get in? They got in, didn't they?
Ike and Tina
Who?
got in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, that's
She's
what
being
they got.
nominated.
Warwick
She's
is
being nominated. She's being not. Tina Turner's being nominated now as Tina Turner. She's already in as Ike and Tina.
Yeah.
But now she's
And,
going
and
in as
Dionne
Tina
Warwick.
Oh,
Turner.
yeah.
And Dionne Warwick is the last name on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't consider her
If
rock, but
if you
all right.
really want Dionne Warwick in, have her make Burt Bacharach never sing again.
Oh.
That's a good. That's a
Never.
good call. That's a good call, Sam.
Yeah.
Ever, ever sing again. It's just
That's
too
a good
much to
call.
bear.
There you go.
Great writer. Please stop
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Bert's dead,
Right,
isn't
that's
he?
our list.
No, he's not.
He's not? Oh.
He's still
Nope.
on.
Oh.
No, just his throat.
All right, who's missing? Who's missing from the list you want to see put in there? Who do we need in the Hall of Fame? I already mentioned my two, but you guys got anybody you think should be in the Hall of Fame that's not there?
Is Johnny Mathis
got-
in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Oh.
I'm going to check right now.
Is Tom Waits in there?
That's a good one.
Is Joni Mitchell?
Oh, I think Joni Mitchell is. Hmm.
You know, David
Let's see.
Crosby thinks that Crosby, Stills, and Nash should be in the Hall of Fame, as well as Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. He said
Mm,
because the
I've
two
heard
groups
that.
are so completely
Are
different.
they are
Yeah.
two different groups. I agree. Yeah.
Because he's in
Yeah.
twice. He's in with the Byrds,
Oh yeah.
Wow.
and he's
Yeah.
in with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Yeah.
Huh. He's not. He is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Is Bob Seger?
Yes. I don't see
How
how he
about,
could
uh,
be.
Tom Waits.
All right, let me look for Tom Waits. Oh yeah, they got you Google Tom Waits, you got his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That he never gave.
Yeah.
No.
Apparently his music wasn't that great, but his speech getting in was excellent. You know, so.
Yeah.
No, it looks like he was. It looks like he was in the class. He was in the class of 2000.
not me.
He was in the class of. He was in the class of 2011. Tom Waits, class of
Oh,
2011.
That's the, yes.
Is
Yeah, I guess Tommy
Springsteen-
James
A
is my.
McDonald's jingle.
Springsteen's in.
Oh, of course. So we talk about his drunk driving charge.
Can I tell you something? He blew a
Sure.
.02.
What?
Who's that? Springsteen.
Springsteen, a
Springsteen,
.02. That he
Well, how'd
was
they-
set up. He was set up. I'm telling you.
Well, how did they? How
Hmm.
could they arrest him on drunk driving
I
on a
don't know.
.02?
I don't know, but I'm telling you.
That's
Oh, it's a whole album. It's a whole album. Really, come on.
Yeah. well, but
Not that
and
big
that
of a
was
deal. You'll get a whole.
before the ad too. That was back in November. I was thinking that somebody could have gotten him because of that Jeep ad. That was so liberal.
Well, for that he should have been arrested.
Yeah.
But the arrest was actually back in November. That's weird.
Sir, why are you buying a Jeep? Well, it was that commercial.
Yeah, I want to
Oh.
go to the middle of America in Kansas.
And freeze my nuts off. Yes.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
today.
All,
Hey,
all I kept thinking
wanna-
while I was watching that commercial was, he must be
What was the album he had? Nebraska or Kansas?
Oh.
It's Kansas,
Course.
isn't that
Well,
Kansas? The middle of
is
the
I wanted-
geographical
dead
center
middle of the United States. Yeah.
of the contiguous 48.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he had an album named Nebraska though.
I know.
That's what I thought.
And
yeah.
Oh, that's
I bought a Jeep. I bought a Jeep because Matthew McConaughey wouldn't sell me a Lincoln. So
oh. Well, let me look at
Alright,
He hasn't
All
been
right,
the
all
same
right.
since he quit smoking weed.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure quite. I understand why he's in a Lincoln trying to do ice fishing in a mountain stream.
you. Yeah.
What is that? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we all drive our Lincolns. up
Has
there.
everybody here, not counting me, has everybody here gone ice fishing?
I have. I
At
grew
one
up in-
time in my
I grew up
life,
in I grew up in a city called Waterford, Michigan. We had more water than we had land where I grew up.
The question is, did I catch any fish? Now that's the other question. You know?
Have you ever heard of Pullman, Michigan?
Yeah.
Pullman?
Coleman.
Absolutely.
Pullman.
Oh, Coleman, C-O-L-M-A-N?
C-O-L.
He is in Paul, ULLMAN.
Oh, P.
Ah, no,
Yeah,
I
it's,
haven't
The
heard
by,
of that.
railway
it's over
car?
by
No.
Grand Rapids,
Okay.
right?
Do you know Steve Seagren,
I do.
the comedian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve
Steve's
Seagram, the
sister,
Chicago comedian. Yeah.
yeah, Steve's sister is married to a guy. Now, this is years ago. They could be, but is married to a guy with their 3 kids who live in Pullman, Michigan. Now, when I tell you it is on Lake Michigan, I mean you walk out his backyard and there's Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. They are practicing Buddhists.
Okay.
They have 3 kids, but they don't sleep together now. They all sleep on futons. They are vegetarians. And I stayed with them. And let me say this to preface this. They could not have been nicer people. Okay. They allowed me to stay in their home. They fed us. They were generous. I have never been around that much farting in my life.
A lot of grains in the diet.
The father, now they're practicing Buddhists. The father, and nice, I mean, really nice people. He makes a living. He's the guy who drives around at 3 a.m. dropping off newspapers to newspaper boys.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did that, by the way. I did that for a living. I
Yeah.
loved it. I love being up that time of day. I love
Really?
being awake when no one else is. I do. I love that because that's the easiest time to steal shit. No. So we go to an Ace Hardware store that had just opened after I won them once. He finished his route. I mean, his route was like a third of what mine was. I lived in DC. I dropped off 300 sets of newspapers. And we go to an Ace Hardware store. And it's one of these places, everybody knows everybody. There's coffee over here if you want it, And he went into the bathroom. And when he came out, I had to go. When I went into that bathroom, I came out in 3 seconds and I thought, I'll hold it. Because I can't crap and hold my breath. It was brutal. And the kids farted and they laughed about it. And I kept saying to myself, you're a guest. You're a guest in the house. You're a guest. Don't say anything. And the only other people that we knew, that Steve knew, were these 2 girls who were B girls who worked in a bar.
Mm.
And I stayed with one and Steve stayed with the other. And the next morning, I come out of this girl's apartment and Steve comes out of this girl's apartment. And Steve's girlfriend yells across the street to the girl I'm with, did you bang him, Mary? Did you bang him like the shitty whore you are? And I went, I feel so special. I've never worked with quality chicks before.
Did she say, no, I didn't?
Why? No, I have my standards, which I evidently dropped for the time I'm here.
Nice.
Well, it's been another night of off night ranting and berating and cajoling and just
Not
having a
that
good
much
old time
ranting.
like we do every Monday night. No, that's true. It's Monday nights here at 8:00. Tonight we were on YouTube, and I think I'm going to do YouTube from now on because YouTube allows me to share it to all of the Facebook pages, where
I love
Facebook
to share.
doesn't necessarily allow me.
Sure.
Yeah. YouTube doesn't always, or not YouTube. Facebook doesn't always allow me to share it with everything else. So
That's
we're
because
probably going to go
Mark
that way
Zuckerberg
from
is
now
the
on.
devil.
Yeah, all right.
Actually,
Yeah.
he
Now we'll
defies
never
that
get
old
on
theory
Facebook
that the
again.
devil comes to you in a friendly form.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we can
Yeah, so
talk
much
about that
for
in a
that.
second because we're gonna. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up here. We got 30 more seconds of live streaming time, and then we go on afterwards. Look, I'm serious. If you want to join us, I always have the crawler at the bottom that's got the address. Every show has a different link. Just catch that. if you want to be pre put on the show or guaranteed a spot, because I can't always guarantee I'm going to see you every time you go in. Go ahead and email me or send me a Facebook post, or get on my YouTube page and let me know. But for Kathy and Sam and Andy, this is Mark. We'll see you again next Monday night at 8.
Ciao for now.
I'll talk to you guys, on the other side.